you. Cheese.
But the Hong Kong system is internationally.
我又唔清楚。
ACO means ACO is ACO, which means Art and Culture Outreach, the abbreviation of it. For the bookshop, we mainly promote art and culture events and also sells art and cultural books. Especially, we promote independent publishing in Hong Kong. This place is also like a multifunctional space that we can do performance, screenings, book launch, seminars, or any kind of events. We are also help manage the majority flats in this building. We want this building like a place for all kinds of arts to happen. We are like a vertical artist village. In other words, I would say a cultural hub. We are also outspoken in politics. This building is privately owned. We are not subsidized by the government or any other funding. We only sustain ourselves by receiving the cheap rents from our sponsor studios and also like the book sales in this bookshop. We are not a rich organization, but we can sustain ourselves.
Right.
This kind of independence protects the freedom of the artist and also of us. We kind of have an alignment of what we believe, at least for truth, for beauty, and for benevolence. Yeah. Freedom, of course. Yeah.
In the past. So I'm gonna bring those things to you today. And music. So that's why
the likelihood,
yeah.
the thing that you try to do to get people back to the, at least try to local history.
Yeah.
So what are the other things?
So I not only play shakuhachi, but I'm a rice farmer. Yeah.
Our right knees out.
I go the bamboo forest, right? And then it's standing like this. And then I touch it, and then this is going to be.
Here. This is from Hinton.
すごいですね。自分自身を誰かが客観的にされて読みにして100年ですぐらい。
All like legend or based on yeah，即係佢好多人文可能咁赤鱲魚塘入邊咧。
We have many life skills that we learn here, like when Yuki wa inochi.
いい畑だね。
We call this Mapopo Community Farm. It's just a platform for the farmers in the village to sell their produce, and also community can have a place to buy fresh organic vegetables. This is the place for us to demonstrate how our community can have farming and also have commercial activities and also have residential areas. We want to say farming is very important. A city, you need agriculture included in your planning so that we can have a more good and sustainable environment. Yeah. If you can build more and more community farming around a city, kids can have playgrounds, educational activities, and you know how your food is grown, and then you will respect at least not the farmer but also the environment also.
The bridge, you can see the direction. It is ready to get connection over there. These buildings are built 20 years ago. So they have all the planning 20 years ago already.
Right.
Yeah, and they start to prep the land and then force the farmer to live these recent years.
This family own this land, so like
No.
no.
Oh, this is a very strange situation in Hong Kong. 99% of the farmers in Hong Kong, they don't own the land. We don't have money, we don't have law backup, we don't have policemen, we cannot hold our farming tools to fight. We can only talk to other people, change the society, make people stand on our side. You can never say, I know I can win this time, so I do it. Yeah, you cannot calculate. You just do it. And don't think about the end result. If you think of this, then you just do nothing. And sometimes we will get some change. We will win little by little.
はじめまして。私はピーターです。私は Okay, let's change to English. I'm Peter, and I've been a farmer for about 5 years and 6 years. 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I'm totally a modern city boy, and I'm working in an office. I visit the development projects in northern Thailand. The village is belongs to some indigenous people. First, they are very rich, and they didn't need to buy anything. They grow food, they make clothes, they can they're all sufficient by themselves. But after some companies to advise them to grow some corns, they believe that can be very profitable. They grow corns and they give up all their initial seeds. After that, because the market can be very fluctuating, they become very poor and they lost their seed. So the story is that they become very poor. The youngsters have to go out to work, and they cannot grow their food by themselves anymore. So the projects have to provide them some seed to let them to be self-sufficient again. I think their experience is very inspiring to me, because before that I never realized the importance of seed or farming. But in fact, that's the very fundamental element of the development. If you don't have the seed, you don't have food. If you don't have the food, you have to go out to have to work, earn money. And if you have to rely on money, you lost your freedom.
So my name is Angeline and I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer because I care a lot about the rule of law in Hong Kong. I grew up here and Hong Kong is my home. I care very deeply about it. So a bit more about the protest here. It's a bit mad. This is the third major protest just this week. And it's centered on the extradition bill, which would allow people in Hong Kong to be arrested and sent to China to face trial. And of course we're very upset about that because we all know that the Chinese legal system is it isn't really quite up to international human rights standards. For example, their criminal area, their conviction rate is up to 90% and over. And we've also heard cases in which there are human rights lawyers who are detained, and then they don't go to court. They aren't tried for over 3 years. This is Wang Quanzhang. And nobody even knew whether he was dead or alive for 3 years. He was not allowed to see his wife. He was not allowed to see his lawyer of his choice. So, I mean, given that that's the situation that the Chinese legal system is in, feel very unsafe if this law is passed. Yesterday, which was Saturday, the chief executive finally gave a press conference and said she would suspend the bill. However, she made no apology for all the police interventions, and she also called the protest on Wednesday a riot. I think it was her response and her failure to apologize for how all of this has been handled, which has caused so many people to be so angry and come out onto the street.
Police shoot the people. They declare that it is a riot. But I will say this is totally not a riot because nobody holds any weapon.
Right.
So to me, riot is just an excuse for them to legalize their action. And then they will use their power to control people. They will grow fear from the people. Just like now what the Chinese government and the Hong Kong government is doing. They want to spread out fears to the people that you are fear of speaking the truth. So to act against it is to live in truth. Always live in truth. We don't give up, live in truth.
It's great that people are coming out in a large number to voice their opinion on this issue. Suddenly we finally have one topic that can unite everybody. Because the topics before, some may be environmental, some may be about the farm, some may be about animal rights, some may be about workers' rights. It's not something that can bring everybody together. But this particular issue, everybody is together. But when you interview the official, they don't say the truth. So because a government runs in such a secrecy, they can do whatever they want. Because they never have to be accountable for anything. It's not transparent. And if you have a government that's doing that behind the Hong Kong government, then it's even harder to know what it's all guessing. Right? If this law gets passed, then they have a footage of me. Oh, in this video. Oh, you said you don't agree with Beijing government. I have this evidence. And then they come and take you from Hong Kong back into China.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. So actually, now it's harder and harder to interview protesters. Because they're so afraid that what are you gonna do with the footage? But in an open society, you shouldn't be afraid to express your thoughts. But this is what China has brought to Hong Kong. Is people are starting to fear, oh, I have a business in China, or maybe no, I have friends in China, I have family in China. I can't say everything I want. So you self-censor yourself. And if this law gets passed, then the self-censorship will be even stronger. So we have to stop this. I was thinking about this issue quite a lot recently, and I just think many civilizations have left behind important ideas for humanity. So maybe there's like Magna Carta, and maybe there's like the Declaration of Independence from America, Magna Carta from UK, and they all say what human right is. You have the freedom to pursue happiness, ideas like this. That is, I think, cross-culture. And I think also China has something to offer, like Confucius, and also making Buddhism become part of Chinese culture, Taoism, Laozi, right? So I think each civilization has something to pass on. And I was always thinking, what does Hong Kong have to contribute to this human civilization, right? Are we just gonna, like, maybe Hong Kong will disappear, like 100 years later? And then what will people think of Hong Kong? Oh, people like to make money. And the rent was very expensive. And oh, they are a financial market. And there's good food, tourist location, that's it. But I don't think that's such a core part of human civilization. Like, what are the beautiful aspects of human that you think are worth preserving, fighting for? And I think in the recent years, what Hong Kong people are demanding is actually kind of going beyond only Hong Kong. It's starting to the idea of freedom to demonstrate, and the idea of how powerful should the police be, the government be. These issues should be discussed. And in a developed city like in Hong Kong, the media and everybody should discuss openly. So I think this is very important.